Ready Check Radio. What's up, Internet? Welcome to Snowbound, the Blizzard podcast, brought to you by Ready Check Radio. Welcome to Ready Check Radio NPR. My name's Mike Byrne. I play the Piccolo. And if you have no idea what that means, you really should head on over to ReadyCheckRadio.com, and in the upper right, follow all the socials, including Twitch, and come join us live. We do the show every Tuesday evening at 7 p.m. Eastern. Took a week off. We got all the new equipment up and running. Hopefully this will go off without a hitch, but I don't know. I have maniacs for co-hosts, and we've got some pretty awesome and some not so awesome Blizzard news to cover. So let's introduce the hosts with me. Joining me, first up, Ms. Angela Mercurio, a.k.a. Indy Garona. How are you, Indy?
Hello, I'm here.
Look at that new chair.
Yes.
Oh.
It's for the Horde.
Well, of course it is. Of course it is. I wouldn't have expected anything else. I mean, if you would have had an Alliance chair, I think you would have lost like 90% of your followers.
Oof. Yeah, that would have been very controversial.
Yeah. I mean, you already got caught playing an Alliance priest, so
I did.
That's no bueno.
But that's just me trying to be diplomatic and have healing, healing on both sides for my friends all over.
I understand. I mean, that's like an olive branch. I see what you're doing. I still
call them Stinky Alliance, though.
Fair enough. Also on the line, the pink hat himself, Dom Greco, a.k.a. Zista. What's up, sir? Nerfed this. Jeff Kaplan nerfed himself out of Blizzard. And you won Jeff's job on the Overwatch team, so you are in charge now, huh?
Hello, Internet. Zista from the Overwatch team here. No, I don't want that.
I don't think you do. No, he was very diplomatic in the way he addressed the Reddit community and what he thinks of both audiences there. And I guess that's as good a place as any to start. Yes, we do have World of Warcraft news, but we're going to go to the other Blizzard news first today and then circle back to our World of Warcraft news. Because, yes, the big news this past week, week and a half since we've been gone there while I switched over the new desktop, Jeff Kaplan, director of Overwatch and Overwatch 2, has elected to leave Blizzard after almost 20 years with the company. So I got to ask question number one, Indy, were you surprised? Did this kind of departures sometimes catch you off guard, and sometimes you're like, yeah, that dude checked out 3 years ago. I'm amazed he's still here. Was this a surprising departure from Blizzard, given all the high-profile departures we've had over, let's say, the last 24 months? Are you surprised by another one? Or do you look at this and go, wow, I can't say I didn't see that one coming. Where's your take on this when you heard the news?
I mean, obviously we didn't see it coming, but it's not a shock in the same regard because we have seen so many high-profile departures.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got from Hearthstone, from World of Warcraft, you've got from every department. We've lost huge names and integral people who've made Blizzard what it is and made the games what they are. So it's disappointing and it's sad because I hate to see this kind of thing happen to a company that probably it wouldn't be happening if it wasn't a Blizzard Activision right now. But but no, I'm not shocked. It's just more of a bummer, I guess, to lose.
I mean, let's be honest, Zista. I mean, Ghostcrawler, Chris Metzen, the just slew of high-profile names that have exited Blizzard over the past 2 to 3 years is pretty high profile. Like when you see Chris Metzen walk away, that is Warcraft. To a large audience of people, that is watching Warcraft leave. And I've got to say that even though I'm not, super gung-ho, I am casual Overwatch to begin with, even I know that without Jeff Kaplan, there probably isn't an Overwatch to begin with. So this is, I can understand for a lot of people thinking they watched Overwatch leave. Now, that doesn't mean the game's going to die or not do well or succeed going forward, but this has got to feel for Overwatch fans the same as it felt for World of Warcraft fans watching Ghostcrawler or Metzen walk out.
Well, even with Hearthstone, when we lost Ben Brode,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
you know, that was another one. Like, he was the face of Hearthstone for the longest time. But arguably, one could say Hearthstone is in a much better place right now. And I'm not saying that's related, but you know, you get different teams come in and change stuff up a bit. You get some new ideas instead of staying in the same kind of rut that you kind of like put yourself in. Like, something works and it's worked for a while, so you don't really look for innovation. Not saying that that's Jeff's fault or anything like that, but there's definitely some problems with Overwatch. So maybe a fresh set of eyes on it could benefit in the long run. So I am cautiously excited um, for it. But
Jeff's message.
oh,
sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say, I also would not be surprised to see him maybe move over to what was it, Morheim's company, Dreamhaven, or
Yeah.
maybe
Oh God,
with
Mike
Metzen
Morheim
on
himself.
War
Yeah. I
Chief.
mean, there's another name. Let's
Yeah.
just keep piling them on.
Yeah, but I wouldn't be surprised to see him go over to one of those other companies.
Could you imagine
yeah.
if they did kind of like form another
Blizzard
I think
2.0?
that would be
Well, I mean,
bad
that's what Morheim
news.
basically did. He announced, what was it, it's Dreamhaven. They haven't announced any
Yeah.
games yet, but they're going to be working on stuff, and like an MMO is like in their sights. That's something that they've talked about. So
Is it
would
called
not be
WoW Killer?
surprised. Hopefully.
Jeff's letter on the Play Overwatch page. I am leaving Blizzard Entertainment after 19 amazing years. It was truly the honor of a lifetime to have the opportunity to create worlds and heroes for such a passionate audience. I want to express my deep appreciation to everyone at Blizzard who supported our games, our game teams, and our players. But I want to say a special thanks to the wonderful game developers that shared in the journey of creation with me. Never accept the world as it appears to be. Always dare to see it for what it could be. I hope you do the same. GG Jeffrey Kaplan. Stepping in for Jeffrey Kaplan, of course, will be Aaron Keller, who has kind of just basically been the number 2 for pretty much as long as Jeff was the number 1. So I don't expect a lot of changes there, but I can kind of see your point, Zista, where you know, the ones we've previously mentioned, the Metzens and stuff, they've all kind of said, reading between the lines a little bit in some of these messages, and some have said directly, it just became, it wasn't fun anymore, you know, and that's why they did this.
Especially.
It wasn't fun anymore, and they grew to not be able to see the forest through the trees, right? They've worked on NIP for so long that things start to become, well, we do it that way because we've always done it that way. And the game never evolves once you hit that point.
Mm-hmm. But Metzen himself, I remember when he cited a lot of like anxiety and panic attacks and expectations and stuff, you know, that he had, and it was his own personal turmoil. So I actually didn't expect to see him in the public light again after statements like that, because I know what anxiety can do to people. And I was glad he was able to get past that and find something he's very passionate about and open up again. And I believe his the Kickstarter campaign is actually live right now, and I think it made it in what, like 20 minutes?
Yeah, it was like 19 minutes, for crying out loud. Also penned a little bit of a letter to Reddit. To the communities on r/Overwatch and r/competitive Overwatch. They've meant so much to me. I just want to sign off one last time and thank you for all of your inspirations, shared stories and highlights, feedback, criticism, and camaraderie. When I think about the Reddit communities, I always think of r/Overwatch as Timmy, aka Punch Kid, bright-eyed, optimistic, and r/competitive Overwatch as Brian, the slightly jaded older brother who realizes in the end that he actually loves Overwatch, but just kind of forgets it along the way sometimes. Either way, you're amazing, and you made my career better. You made me a better designer and game director. Please take care of the Overwatch team. They are wonderful, caring, brilliant people, and they need you right now. And obviously, you know, some people read into that last part, Indy. I don't think he was trying to imply that, hey, the team's in trouble, they're gonna need you right now. You know, transitions are always kind of tough, and it was just hey, just give them your support, is the way I kind of read that. Did you read it the same?
A little bit. Yeah.
Oh,
I mean, listen, there's definitely not going to be, it's going to be, at this point in the game with Overwatch 2 still in development, this isn't a good thing. I mean, any kind of like reorg or, you know, things shuffling around with management and staff, it's going to shake things up a little bit.
Yeah,
At least
and
for me.
that is absolutely a concern here. We're not talking about just Overwatch, Zista, where, you know, it's doing its thing, right? And you could get by with new maps, new heroes, new events, rinse and repeat 2 to 3 times per year, and go. We're talking about Overwatch 2, which a lot of us thought, including myself, was probably a little more ready for prime time than Blizzard actually thought it was. Now we know we're full on not getting it until next year.
I mean, I think they took a
with this
note from the
happening,
Avengers.
yeah, maybe.
You know, they saw what Avengers, what happened to them, and they're like, okay, we can't put this out quite yet. We have to actually make sure this is ready. You know.
Speaking of Overwatch 2, Aaron, in his letter to the team, did mention Overwatch 2, saying, speaking of Overwatch 2, development is continuing at a good pace. We have an exceptional vision we're executing on. The reaction from many of you to the updates we shared at BlizzConline thrilled us, and we have exciting reveals planned for this year and beyond as we ramp to launch. We'll be sharing more frequent updates about Overwatch 2 progress and new features in the live game with you all very soon. And really, the only date that I can kind of come up with for this year that might make sense for a splash of some Overwatch information, Indy, is the anniversary, right? I mean, that's just around the corner, late next month. That would give them, you know, a full month to put together some Overwatch stuff. But there's the other part of me that goes, that's only a month away, and you just lost your director, so maybe not.
I don't think so. I think that would be jumping the gun a little bit. I think if they're going to put Overwatch 2 out and do it right, not to rush anything, and maybe even to take it a little slower now. Because I don't know, just personally when a name like that leaves Blizzard, that department for a while is probably, you know, doing a little bit of scrambling. I mean, when Ben Brode left Hearthstone, I thought Hearthstone was going to die. I did. I didn't know how it was going to go on without that, you know, passionate, iconic person leading it. So
at least they've already announced that we weren't going to see it until next year, right?
Yes.
I mean, at least that announcement already came out, Zista. So you can't really disappoint on that front all of a sudden by then also announcing the game will be in 2022. We know,
and you have to imagine
we're not seeing Overwatch or Diablo until next year. Go ahead.
You have to imagine Jeff's influence is already all over Overwatch 2 anyway. So it's not like, oh, you know, I'm leaving and Overwatch 2 is on its own. Like he's already put his input in. He's, you know, like they're on schedule. They're making changes on their schedule anyway. They're making changes to it. You know, like they're gonna update. They're gonna add new features and stuff. But like he's already done what he could with it. You know, like he's not gonna leave the game in a complete state of chaos and just bail. Like,
yeah, I don't get the sense that this is like when Casey Hudson left Anthem the first time. When he left Anthem the first time. And BioWare, and the game really didn't even have a solid idea of what it wanted to be yet. That is, from my impression, and just my impression, nothing else, that is not the case here. This game's already fleshed out as what it wants to be on the PvP side of things, what it wants to be on the PvE side of things. We've got the maps, we've got probably most of the heroes themselves by now, if not at least skeletons of those heroes. You know, that stuff's there. I feel like this is more of the creating cinematics, creating the questing, making sure the core systems work, hitbox detection testing, all that type of stuff is where we go
Cutscenes
from
and that kind of
cutscenes.
stuff.
I
Yeah.
kind of agree with Whole Milk. I think we'll still get news, probably the end of May, because they'll do something for the anniversary event, but the level of what they consider to be news might change. And we wanted to be able to announce this, but now we might scale it back halfway. The cutest part of this indie, I think, this is just absolutely 100% adorable. Jeffrey Kaplan sends an email. This is so cute. Sends an email to Carolina Ravassa, who's the voice actress for Sombra. And all it says is boop.
Uh-huh.
Cutest thing ever, isn't it?
Yeah, it's bittersweet.
It is a little bittersweet.
I never like to see veterans, like Blizzard veterans, leave. It always sucks. So
of course, the image got.
I'm sure the game will go on, but you have to wonder why this timing. Like, why not wait until after it's successfully launched?
That's a good question. That's a really good question. If if this is coming next year, what was so important to leave? And obviously we didn't give any details on if I want to spend more time with my family, or I've got this or I've got this. We didn't get any of that stuff.
Well,
and we
you
hope
have to imagine when. Sorry.
Go for it.
I was gonna say you have to imagine that they have no compete clause when
of course, yeah.
like break their contract or their contract ends or whatever, or they give their notice or whatever, and there might be timing on another project that he wants to work with and needs to get in there as soon as possible. So
I mean, that is 100% speculation, we should say.
Yes.
100% speculation.
Absolutely.
Certainly
Anything
possible.
that comes out of Zista's mouth is 100% speculation.
100% fact speculation.
Ravassa did tweet the email out, the boop email, with the comment, "It's the little things that make me smile." Thank you, Jeff Kaplan, for giving us this world worth fighting for. Hearts, #Overwatch, #Sombra, #boop. So sad. So sad. But another big name departs. So looking at it bigger picture, is Blizzard in trouble, Zista?
I don't think so. I don't know.
I don't think so. I don't know.
I like overall the company. No, I don't think so.
Not financially. I mean, obviously,
Yeah.
financially, they are more than fine. And Bobby's, Scrooge McDucking through his vault of dollar bills.
That's like asking, is Disney in trouble?
No, I think
in some regards, yes. In
let
some
me
regards,
rephrase
no,
then. Let me rephrase then. Financially, obviously, the company is not in any type of trouble whatsoever. And in fact, we expect another financial report here in just a couple of weeks that we expect from all indicators is going to blow the previous quarter out of the water, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So financially, no, that's not what I'm talking about. But when you think of the pioneering that Blizzard did 20 years ago, 15 years ago, 10 years ago, that type of company, do you see the same type of pioneering, pushing the game space, pushing technology, pushing gaming? Do you see that from this company over the next 5-10 years? Or have they kind of now at this point officially just kind of become another EA? Here's the titles that we're going to put out every year and we're going to support them every year.
Yeah, I mean, to a degree, but that's where, you get a lot of these people that are burnt out and they're not making changes and stuff like that, and maybe getting fresh set of eyes in here will fix that. Like you we said, especially you look at like Ben Brode and Hearthstone, for example. And I was with Indy, like I thought the game was dead after Ben left. I was like, you can't, like, he is the life and blood of Hearthstone. He was in every announcement, every like time they showed off anything. He was the spokesperson for Hearthstone. And he had so much influence on the design and everything of where it was going. And he's so energetic and so excited. And I was like, without him, Hearthstone is dead. And I'm gonna be honest, I play more Hearthstone now than I have in the last like 6 years. Whatever, however long Hearthstone's been out, 4 years, whatever it is. Like it's been I don't even know how long Hearthstone's been out, but like I've
Mhm.
genuinely played more the last 2 years than like the entire lifespan of Hearthstone combined.
You just have this kind of vicious cycle that can happen to a company. And Indy, I want your opinion on if you think this is kind of where Blizzard is heading, right? If they get into, or if you feel like they might be creatively challenged going forward and pushing the boundaries challenged going forward because those driving forces have left and the ones that are still there are being managed by Activision, not
Yeah.
a guiding force that they want to go to. 10 years ago, to get a job at Blizzard was a huge deal for somebody out of school. And I'm not, by the way, implying that it isn't a huge deal today for somebody just getting out of school to go work for Blizzard. It is absolutely a big deal. My comparison is more that I don't know if mythos-wise it's the same now as it was 10 years ago, even 5 years ago. And when that
Mm-mm.
happens, the pool of creative talent applying for those jobs isn't the same as it was 5 and 10 years ago as far as diversity, as far as skill sets, as far as drive. I want to create something special, not I want to go work on Madden 2027 like
Mhm.
you would with EA. And you kind of get in this cycle where is it Blizzard now, or is it Activision Blizzard still, or is
Yeah.
it just Activision now?
This is what I'm seeing. Like it's all very sad because Activision is going to be fine. Like obviously
Yeah.
there's always going to be an audience for what they're putting out. I'm a Blizzard
And there are
fangirl.
still
Like I
super
say,
creative and talented people there and doing their
true.
jobs day in and day out,
100%. 100%.
but
But
maybe
I look
not
at
with
it
the
this
freedom
way.
they had 10 years ago anymore.
True. Like I look at it this way. I'm going down with this ship. I will absolutely be devoted to, even if I don't like the changes. Obviously, I'm still riding it out because I love these games and like I love the lore and I'm invested. But the way I see it is this: it's like there's never going to be the old Blizzard.
Yeah.
That's like gone. The big names have left. Look at it this way: it's like if you take something and industrialize it and have things pumped out in mass proportions versus having artisans craft things with their hands. That's where I see kind of like Blizzard versus Blizzard Activision.
Right.
It's corporate engine now. It's
Well,
big corporate versus the small company full of people with an idea, and they were basically only worried about pleasing the gamers. Like their vision was to excite and to just inspire gamers to love the games that they were making and putting out. Right now, obviously the motivation is more money driven. All the decisions they're making are more money driven, and that's obviously to be understood because they're Blizzard Activision now.
Yeah, it
yeah,
changes
too, when
when
you're at
your
the
primary customer is no longer your customer and your primary customer is now your stockholders,
yeah.
your stakeholders.
And also when you're at the top of your game too, like you're the biggest MMO on the market, you're one of the biggest companies in terms of first person shooters, like a lot of the need for innovation goes out the window until, like people keep on you kind of look at it like WWF and WCW, like when wrestling was at its prime, a lot of people say that's at its prime when they had the Monday Night Wars and the two of the companies are going back and forth and they're trying to innovate and one's trying to be better than the other. But then when WCW got bought out and WWF is the only big wrestling company now, it's just been tanking. It's been going downhill. It's like there's no reason for them to try to innovate and be better. They're the biggest one,
He
and whatever. That's why this new company,
he
AEW,
he
is
brought in
shooting up.
wrestling. He
I
actually
did,
did it. He
I
actually did
did,
it. You did.
I did,
Congrats. You brought wrestling to the Blizzard podcast.
I did. I'm
Yeah.
gonna bring everything to
What'd
the
you think of
Blizzard podcast.
WrestleMania?
Um,
I thought day one was all
the,
right and day two sucked.
AFK
yeah, that's
BRB.
that's that's about right. That's about right. That hair whip, though, right?
Indy's like, I gotta go. I'll be right back.
The
I'll tell you.
Indiana Jones whip crack hair whip.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, though. This is the crossover I did not know I needed. I
Mm.
absolutely did not know that I needed. If you don't know Mr. Bean, I'm sorry.
Oh my god.
I'm sorry. You definitely should.
Oh.
A British comedy
I
played by Rowan Atkinson, who not only does Mr. Bean and is brilliant, but does stand up.
Blackadder.
And yeah, Blackadder, all kinds of Britcoms. Hysterical. So what we have here, what we're showing you, is a fan-made crossover, A Day in the Life of Overbean, done by
Oh,
Full-Time Spy. So credit where due, all one word, Full-Time Spy. Yeah, if you don't know Mr. Bean, should that even be a sentence? You're right, Whole Milk. I agree. The green screen masking on this, by the way, is very, very
fantastic.
well done. I mean, it is
Yeah.
incredibly well done. And
watched
him
this,
amazing.
I watched this
searching
the other
around.
day, like
I
2 or
love
3
this
days
one where
ago,
he's
and
on
I
the
just
bed.
he's just
Oh
out
my
stretching on the
God.
balcony, the battle's going on
Yeah.
outside, you just hear all the fighting. Oh, it's so good.
Absolutely brilliant. This is the crossover I did not know I needed,
Yeah.
but I absolutely do need. Thought you all should see that. A Day in the Life of Overbean.
Mm.
Definitely check it out. Before we head into World of Warcraft news, we do have info on Diablo Immortal. Nothing on 4, but it is moving into a closed alpha. The Crusader class is being added. The level cap has gone from 45 to 55. There's new zones, new dungeons, faction-based PvP, and a 48-player raids are now available in the areas, in the upcoming closed alpha, in the areas where it's available, which, as far as I know, Zista, have you been able to get into this yet, or is this still like mainly Australia, that type of... Oh, he's going to check right now. Look at this big dog, Indy. He's like, let me just check my data pad here.
Nope, still registered.
still just registered. So
Womp
there you go.
womp.
Lots of new content on that front. But one more thing before we head into, I do want to talk a little bit about Hearthstone. We've been talking quite a bit about it and its kind of recovery and its little bit of a renaissance, if you will, that it might be having right now. And I got to ask Indy and Zista here. You know, Blizzard not so good on the PR stuff lately. And by lately, I mean the last few years.
You mean ever?
Yeah, or ever. Right. And
When
right
was the
now,
last time they had good PR? Like, can you give me an example? Like, I can't think of one off the top of my head.
I think they were still in a garage. They're not doing so well with the fairer sex, as they say, right now. Facing a lot of criticism from female Hearthstone pros, not just in relationship to underrepresentation in the game itself or marketing of the game itself to women, but also in the way that Blizzard's actually running its tournaments, Indy, as far as picking streamers to go ahead and do a invitational for a number of Twitch streamers, YouTube content creators, and initially having 2 women in the lineup of, I think it was, 20 initially? Correct me if I'm wrong. I think it was like 20 people that were supposed to be in the event. The Crossroads Invitational. Yeah, 18 men and 2 women. Now, after some backlash, there was a substitution of 2 men leaving and 2 more women entering, but this took backlash to get in place.
That's the problem right there.
Yeah, we've had a female Hearthstone world champion before in 2019. So we're less than 2 years removed from a female world champion who has also expressed concern with the representation of women, not just playing the game, but also shoutcasting and being there for tournaments and being in these invitationals. Slissa, if you watch her content on YouTube, tons of independent tournaments that she's running. She has a video where she said she was actually petitioned Blizzard to make the competitor pool more diverse, was told by the company that it would look bad if women lost.
What?
Yeah. Blizzard asked her to run an all-women Battlegrounds tournament last year. This is allegedly, right? This is what Slissa says. I have no reason to doubt her, though, but this is her point of view. She says she's petitioned Blizzard to make the competitors pool more diverse, but was told no by the company, as it would look bad if women lost. In return, they wanted to run a all-female event instead of adding more women to a particular tournament. Whole Milk saying, I don't want to be fair to Blizz, but TCGs have always been like this. MTG, Magic the Gathering, have only recently picked up the slack on this front. So
I was actually going to say that.
Maybe implying that it's a genre problem. But here's the thing. You don't get that pass from me when you're Blizzard and you have already run into this PR train multiple times over the last 3 years for multiple different games, Indy.
Yeah. Back when I played my first TCG, which was Magic the Gathering, or it was even available online, you had to like physically go to the comic book stores and play it. I can't remember seeing any other girls every time I was there. It was crazy. It sucked. Like it felt kind of like I was it felt weird. I wasn't like there to socialize because there was no other females around. But that said, that's no excuse to, in today's day and age, when we have like so many streamers, so many amazing female Hearthstone streamers, there's no excuse to have an invitational and make that tiny little percentage be women, and then to say, oh, well, you know what? No, we're going to switch it up now because we're going to placate you people who are upset about this. Like no, do it right the first time. Stop screwing up. Be more diverse, include more people. And that's not even a men versus women thing. I mean, just include everyone.
Right. And Zista, this is hot off the heels of the arguably ridiculously delayed response to Zalay's banning from Hearthstone for inappropriate and allegedly abusive type conduct in personal lives. So, I mean, it's Hearthstone. There's always going to be somebody unhappy, right? Male, female, my dog, my cat, it doesn't matter. Somebody's going to be pissed at some company for some reason. But if you can't honestly look the people that are expressing concern in the eye and say, I have literally done everything I can on this front to try, then you have a problem. These aren't hard complaints. These are complaints like, we don't really think you're advertising the game to female gamers. And we would think we would like that. We don't think that you're representing enough females and enough diversity in general in high-profile tournaments or streamer tournaments. And perhaps
I also agree with. Oh, I'm sorry.
That's the most important thing, I think, is I don't want to say Blizzard isn't doing all they could, but it is hard for me to believe they couldn't do more to make all gamers of all stripes feel safer in these environments when it comes to harassment. Because unfortunately, the reality of the situation right now is, Indy, you are far more likely to get harassed during your stream than I am, or than Zista is. And that's for no other reason besides you're a woman. And Blizzard could do things to help mitigate that in their games that I don't think that they're doing right now. And I would be very interested in your take. You started talking about Whole Milk and agreeing there.
Well, so yes, I was actually going to say something about that being so condescending to women that you're creating a league just for them. Like, that's not what we're asking for.
Nope.
We're not asking for our own league. What would the point of that be? That's even more offensive. And as far as toxicity and harassment go, I mean, as a streamer, it transcends Blizzard. Being a female streamer, not only does it happen in Twitch chat, but it happens in DMs. Like, I filter DMs from people I'm not physically friends with on Twitch and that I don't follow on Twitter, but things still come through. And I guess if you've been doing it as long as I have, it doesn't personally bother me. But that's not to say that another streamer, I saw something just yesterday where a female streamer ended her stream early because a whole team of male, I guess they were playing Battlefield, I want to say. Anyway, the other team came into her stream just to harass her, like sexually harass her to get her to stop playing. Like, in what world is this okay? I think it's a bigger problem, but Blizzard's definitely not handling it the way that it should be handled.
Yeah, and I don't mean to sidetrack the discussion a little bit there with that the toxicity internet thing. I did feel it was important to have you weigh in with your experience there. So forgive me for the small sidetrack. I bring that up more to
no.
point out exactly your point just there, in that you can't honestly expect people that are concerned about these issues to take Blizzard at face value of, okay, they're doing everything they can to curb harassment in games, in Blizzard titles, or these events, or these shoutcasts, if you can't even get the booking of the fucking tournament right.
Yeah, listen, let me tell you, I had friends who've been penalized by Blizzard for having character names like Shift Faced the Druid. Like, that is not a problem where somebody needs to be banned and slapped on the wrist. Let's look at problems that actually involve harassment and exclusion, like this. Can we start focusing on things that actually matter and less on things that are really trivial and stupid, I guess?
I'm just curious how they do their invites for the invitational itself, and
Yeah, who selects?
maybe like opening that up, like their process would help us understand a little better, because like if they're doing it based off of like Twitch viewership, or based on like your internal MMR within the program, and they're literally just, selecting people out of there, and it's not like, hand selected things, then maybe we could understand why it was this way to begin with, and maybe come up with a better system for diversity.
It's mind-boggling to me. Like, if this would have been the
Yeah.
World Championships, and you would have been like, hey, there's 100 people for the World Championships here, and 5 of them are women. What the hell are we doing wrong? Let's take this back and see how we can get more women playing Hearthstone, right? That would have been the discussion. This was a Crossroads Invitational where you were purposely inviting personalities, Hearthstone personalities. Like, how hard... How can you not have somebody in this room after so many PR snafus that says, hey, that board's looking a little bit white and a lot bit male? Like, could we please, I know there are diverse Hearthstone personalities. Could we please mix this up a little bit? You literally handpicked who was going to be on that panel and still screwed it up. I want to talk about some good news now. Can we? Maybe,
There's good news?
Yeah. Well, everybody got Daisy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Everybody got Daisy in World of Warcraft. Go claim it if you haven't gotten it. 1 million was the goal.
First day.
Go to the battle.net launcher, go to the store, go search your pets, claim it, and then go ahead and pick it up in your account. I did claim it, but I have not been in game to actually. Oh,
cutest pet.
Indy's pretty excited.
Yeah, I don't think I've actually like opened it in the game yet.
Just do it and then /beckon, and you will just fall in love. You'll never want to mount again, because if you mount, then it disappears. But just
Excuse me?
he's gonna get his sloth.
Oh, there it is. Open the box. What's in the box?
What's in the box?
Oh,
her pretty little head.
It's a sloth
So
head.
cute, and the noises she makes are so cute.
It's a sloth head.
Well, you got a lot of pets there, Zista.
Yeah, you do.
Couple.
Yeah, just a few. Just a
993 unique, just a couple.
Good grief. What a maniac. Anyway, go claim Daisy. And, Indy, I know you've got to be excited by this. I am. There is a chance that something we have been asking for over a decade in World of Warcraft might come to World of Warcraft. According to data miners, we may, again, grain of salt, sprinkle that shit all over this, data mining, we may be getting eyeglasses. That's according to a recent data mining in patch 9.1. Now, we do have a couple characters in game that already wear eyeglasses. And admittedly, these eyeglasses are not like high fashion eyeglasses or anything. They're pretty basic. But it could open up the fashion accessory eyeglasses. I would definitely be all over this. Indy, as a fellow glass wearer, do you want your Belf to wear glasses?
Okay, so I don't know if I would put glasses on my Belf, but I do, if it doesn't interfere with your helm or your armor,
It does.
Yeah, it would.
okay. So I'm not willing to sacrifice a piece of my set for eyeglasses, but I do love that this is something that they would be bringing to your appearance options. I think it would be really cool if they made it kind of like, you know how you can change your jewelry or piercings? Like, if they could do that and still make it work with armor, but I guess because some armor is goggles, it would clash. So I can see.
I can't see a fucking thing. Jason redeemed points for me to take the damn glasses off. Now I can't see a thing.
Oh,
Perfect. Thank you, Jason.
savage.
Let's see. What do we got next? Something about World of Warcraft.
Flying.
What's next, Zista?
Flying comes.
Oh,
in chapter 3.
yeah. That's right. 9.1. I put in the show notes flying because I think it actually comes a fair bit earlier than any of the three of us thought. Like none of us expected it to, have to get all the Covenant levels to get it, but I think we expected to have to get, through half or more of the campaign quest. Looks like maybe 3 weeks in, chapter 3, that we'll be able to fly. That's a bit earlier than I thought it was going to be, Zista.
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited about that. The faster I can fly around,
Hell
I don't know.
yes.
Once flying comes, I typically stop using flight paths, even to long distances. But this expansion might be different because I don't know how flying is going to work when it comes to traversing between zones. I'm very curious to see how that's going to play out. Like, can I go from Revendreth to, Ardenweald
I'm
without
gonna say
I
going
no.
see
through
chat
Oreos?
moving. I have no idea what's being said. I can't incorporate anything you say, guys, into the show right now.
So I will say Omikins is in chat and she says,
Oh.
Burn can't read this. And
Well,
puts a heart.
Yeah, Omi's right. Omi's.
So yeah.
I hate this show.
But yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat with Indy. I think you're gonna have to go through the Waygate. You're not gonna be able to just fly right out of the zone.
Well, did you see I don't know if you guys watch Asmon's videos, but on the patch test realm, they actually managed to run and glide and do the demon hunter cheating that demon hunters do. And I think they managed to almost traverse the zones, but died before reaching Revendreth. So I think that even if we're on flying mounts, there are still going to be the areas where you're just going down, whether you're on a flying mount or not.
We also do know that the jailer's character model seems to be encrypted in the 9.1 data. Now, whether that means something's being hidden that we're not meant to see in the character model itself yet, or if
because
it's
the
just
jailer is locked up in that dude's basement.
Yeah. Still the best summary. What's going on? I don't know. Some dude's locked up in some other dude's basement.
The rune carver is
Denathrius?
actually the jailer. Yep, I'm telling you, that's it.
So whether that means anything or not, is the next thing MDI? Yeah, okay, it is.
Yeah.
I made the text bigger for you.
Yeah, that's not going to matter. The only reason we have functioning cameras right now is because I have memorized the button layout on my Stream Deck to my left here. So I don't need to look to swap to the cameras I want.
Indy made the font as big as an entire page.
Oh, hey, okay. The MDI season basically finished the way it started. Yeah, and that's a good point, Mike. Thank you. That's a good point. Shut up, Indy. That's a good point that I made in the show notes. The MDI season did basically finish, Indy, exactly the way it started. Yes. With Echo and Perplexed in the finals. Perplexed having to fight its way back from bottom bracket after being beaten by Echo and sent to bottom bracket, rematching against Echo, and things not going very well for Perplexed. Did you get a chance to watch?
I didn't get a chance to watch, but here's the thing.
There we go. I had to make sure I pulled up the right B-roll. All right, it's been 5 minutes. I can put these back on.
Mr. Bean, is that the right B-roll?
Here's the thing. I was so into watching these two groups when it was the first round, but I found myself less interested. I wanted to see other groups take on these keys, and I almost feel like we were talking about the other invitational, right, where anybody could do the time trial to enter.
Yeah, the great push.
That's it. You got it. See, I want to see more of that. I want
God,
to
you
see more.
made me
I
say
want
it.
to see. I want to see more non-pro people say, "Oh, you just got more lose the glasses. You're not gonna be able to read it because you're not wearing. Oh, you are wearing your glasses.
Yeah,
You have
it's
to
5
list them
minutes
again.
is the channel points. So. They're off. Go ahead.
Tarka.
Continue, Indy. Continue. In fact, take all
Just that
5 minutes if you like.
Just that I want to see more diversity. I mean, I just want to see more than just these two groups. Nothing against them. I just got tired of watching the same thing.
We were watching
See, now-
plus 20s, Zista, and in the finals, best of 5, start with, I believe it was Necrotic Wake, right? Echo finishes it in just over 12 minutes. I mean, they just their record time was 12 minutes 10 seconds, and they just missed it here and swept Perplex 3-0. Obviously, tremendous teams competing in here to begin with, but I think there's got to be something said for getting those early wins and getting to sit around and practice and talk and watch other teams, as opposed to being sent to down brackets and having to keep playing and keep playing and keep playing becomes very draining at a certain point.
I thought you were going to say earlier that the MDI, the season basically finished the way it started, with me still not watching it.
You are just a miserable SOB. Miserable SOB. Plus 20s. Plus 20s. You should have watched. You know why? Because you're going to get rewards. You're going to get rewards. Maybe. Hold on. I don't know if that's next.
I mean, we can make it next, even if it's not.
Yeah, that is totally not next. That is one, two. That's like 3 away. Next. Yeah, let's cover that first. That's actually just me. Poor placement in the show notes. I should have segued that one better. What's great is I segued it.
Have a headache trying
I just segued it fine on the show. I didn't do it on the show notes. So if you complete your mythic plus 20s for each dungeon, you will unlock the dungeon teleport for that dungeon with a cooldown of, I think it's like 8 hours or something like that.
You know what Zista's thinking right now? I can tell you exactly what he's thinking.
Go for it.
Why do I need a dungeon teleport when I can just get summoned?
No.
Like, what?
No, see, I have the ones from, was it Miss Pandaria? They're on my rogue, and I hate it because I want them on my other characters. Like, this was something from forever ago for content that's unrelevant. You know, it's irrelevant. We don't like. Why should it be locked on a character that I don't play anymore? Like, give it to me on the other ones. You know, like, I don't know. So these ones, yeah, maybe. I might go after 1 or 2 of them. I'm, you know, like I'd be very happy to get at least one of them. You know, so I have like some kind of teleport to get back into Shadowlands once the content is irrelevant. Just makes it easier. And if I had to choose, it would probably be what is it? I think it's Necrotic Wake. Or Spies of Ascent. I don't know which one. One of them drops them out. That's the one, because I want to go farm it later. You know, so that's the one I want the teleport to.
Don't you have to tank the last or fight the last 2 bosses solo?
That is a different one.
Oh,
you're talking about Plague.
Yeah, I'm talking about Plague.
Yeah, that's Plaguefall. That's
and then you go pet the eel
the
and
slime serpent.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's one that drops one just on mythic difficulty level. Has a chance to drop it. So yeah.
Ian Hezekostas did let us know that they are looking at ways to catch up a little bit on your legendaries post 9.1, but no refunds, sucker. You break it, you bought it, Indy. No refunds on mistakes you may have made.
Oh, with like stats.
Wow. Yes.
The thing that always bugged me was this: when you upgrade a legendary, like I never understood why you couldn't put different stat scrolls with it and just update the stats. That always bugged me, but this doesn't really affect me because I'm set with my priest Legos.
Yeah, I
So
mean,
it's
and
whatever.
Ian does say, it does recognize that, hey, you know, I do have a feeling that maybe we should be able to change the secondary stats that you put on there.
Reforging.
And so yeah, probably
Oh,
reforging down the
please. That
line.
would be
But
amazing.
no refunds. No refunds.
I miss reforging.
We could probably spend a whole show on this last one here. But we're not going to. But I do want your takes on it because it kind of was a little bit of a hot button over the 2 weeks we've been gone. And that is that it seems that in 9.1, Blizzard will be adding Mythic Plus scores directly to the client rather than needing one of the many add-ons or the Raider IO or anything like that. Gonna be taking a different Mythic Plus scores showing your different dungeons. Here's the thing I don't understand. They're actually gonna make 2 scores, which this is where they kind of lose me. If they want to add, so many people use Raider IO that it's whatever. Remember, it was Gear Score back in the day, and then it was that got added to the game, and then this, and then this. This is just another one of those things that makes it easier for the people that are looking for random people to finish this stuff with. But they're making 2 scores, one for Tyrannical and one for Fortified, and I think that kind of, to me, Zista almost negates the usefulness of it to a certain degree.
Yeah, because if you're somebody that doesn't do a lot of and you're not doing them every week or something like that, something more casual, then you're gonna have times and scores and stuff for certain weeks and not for the other ones, and that's gonna get a little confusing. I can understand on like the crazy like professional push level that you might want like a difference for that, but like no, like let some external site do that. That does not need to be done by Blizzard. Let like Raider
Agreed.
IO have that. Give them that much. Let them be able to carry on something unique to like I don't know, like you're basically telling this website that's been running forever, that you're out of a job. That's basically what I hear.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
and Indy,
100% agree.
there's a few different audiences for Raider IO by itself that I don't know if this new tool really caters to either of them in the same way something like Raider IO does. You have the people that use Raider IO that are really just trying to clear their 15s every week, and so they use it to try and find people that, it's going to make it easy to clear my 15s for the week. Then you have the people that are pushing the 18s and the 20s, and it's almost a competitive scoring ranking by itself for those people. So it serves 2 different audiences. When you get 2 different scores in here for Tyrannical and Fortified, and like I don't know if it really helps either one of those audiences. And then there's the general audience or group of the audience that tends to look at anything like this as this is bad for the game, just like Gear Score was bad for the game back in the day.
Yeah.
I may be better than my number shows. I've just gotten unlucky groups for the last 2 weeks and things of those natures. So there is always that pro and con debate. Where do you land on it, Indy?
I'm con. Like, I don't think that this is something that Blizzard even needs to be taking on right now. I don't see the point in it. Raider IO is just fine for those that need it. Like, I use mine to kind of track my own progress. I don't stress it. I don't obsess over it. But that said, I think that it's fine, and we don't need to have this in the game. Like, it's not. I can think of a million other things reforging that we could work on bringing into the game.
Just reforging, add some new stuff that you would like to reforging see in the game before reforging. We would add anything like Raider IO reforging.
I mean, listen, I've been really working on my priest, and there's no reason. Like, she's sitting at almost 40% mastery and 12% haste. Please, I would love to reforge my gear. Please.
And then the last thing we've got for you, and yes, I will absolutely read this. Sylvanas book, due out in November. Sylvanas, one of my favorite World of Warcraft characters. Number 2, I think, only to Arthas. And they're connected to the same damn storyline, so. Christy Golden, back at it. Book is available to pre-order now, due out in November. You know who else is going to buy this book? Do you know who else? Oh, you are Indy. Are you Zista? Are you guys like into the novels? Generally speaking, or is this just like you like Sylvanas, so you're gonna buy this one, Indy?
I'm a Sylvanas fangirl.
I typically don't buy a lot of book. I don't have time to read them. I have no desire to read them.
You can get the audio.
I
Says the
bought
guy who's always like, Mike, want to run Torghast? Fuck you, go read.
the last books I bought for Warcraft were the what are they called, the whatever, volume 1, volume 2, volume 3, those ones.
The original ones.
No.
Chronicles or whatever.
The Chronicles. Yeah, I bought those. I have those ones.
Did you read them?
I have the Warcraft magazine. I read the first one. Not all of it. I got through like half of it. And it's really good. It's really interesting. I love the take on it. But I just don't have the time.
I love the novels, especially the Christy Golden ones. She's just kind of nailed the, she's been doing it for so long, right? Jason Winter in chat. Sylvanas is making a book. Man, she'll do anything to kill trees. That's about right. That's about right, Jason. You know who else is buying this book? Guaranteed. Guaranteed. Our lore master who supplies us with the lore or lies.
That segue.
Our resident lore master, Lil Missy. You can follow her on Twitter right there, Lil Missy 4205. That's LILMISSY 4205. Every week she supplies us with lore or lies. We're going to give you 3 statements, one of which has a falsehood in it. The other 2 are the stone cold truth. It is your job in the comments below on YouTube or over on ReadyCheckRadio.com to tell us which one has the lie and what was the lie. Last time, 2 weeks ago on Lore Lies, we were covering the espionage of Baroness Vosh and the House of Rituals. Players were tasked with setting up a trap for the Lich Mor-Batan, and the lie was in the first statement. After capturing Mephiles the Loyal, you try to intimidate him to talk by killing his disciples while collecting a supply of anima from crystals the necromancers have been creating. Mephiles is true to his title and remains loyal, but the Baroness extracts the information she's looking for with a vision ritual. So, the lie in statement number 1. Continuing, moving on through the 9.0 into 9.05 storylines, here we go. The war continues on as the House of Constructs besiege the House of the Chosen at Spearhead. The other Baron of the Chosen, Baron Viras, is leading the defense against Margrave Garmal's vanguard, commanded by General Alvir.
General Alvir is a master tactician and has secured the high ground. After failing to raise the morale of the soldiers, the Mawwalker works with Sector Mevix to place and detonate explosives at key points of the high ground. The plan is interrupted by General Alvir.
After General Alvir is defeated in combat with the player, Byron Viras orders a strike directly on the House of Constructs. But there's a problem. Margrave Garmal himself is out front, making a forced entry to the house impossible. But Secutor Mevix has a plan.
There you are, 3 statements, 2 of which the stone cold truth, 1 has a falsehood in it. Let us know in the comments below which one's the lie and why. But Lil Missy didn't want to just leave it at that this week. It's been 2 weeks, and she's been begging to get out there with some more lore stuff. So she did give me a few thoughts that she would like me to give you. She wants you to know that the House of Rituals and the House of Constructs are the traitor houses of Maldraxxus, the very same that were critical during the rise of Arthas as the Lich King. Yes, plagues from that time as well, but in order to raise the dead, the Cult of the Damned had ritual circles, and those with engineering minds tinkered with abominable constructs. Just something to think about. So let us know in the comments below. Chat, make sure you hang tight after this show because we'll have about 30 seconds of the channel go down so we can relabel things, and we'll be bringing up Mr. Jason Winter, who'll be live streaming today. How are you, sir? You're muted. I bet it was something funny, too.
No. So I'll start over now.
There you go.
I'm still wearing dark clothes because I'm still mourning Papa Jeff. I have to do that for at least another week or two. So
Yeah.
other than that, I'm
How
doing
did you
okay,
take the
yes.
news? I mean, you're a big Overwatch guy. You do all the data tracking on your Overwatch League site. Like, how did you take that news with Jeff departing?
Oh, it's all going to hell.
That's it? Burn it down now? Just give it the
Everything's
Sylvanas
doomed.
treatment?
Yeah, right. No books required though.
What are you streaming today, my friend?
I'm streaming a shooter. No, not Overwatch. Going to be Enlisted, the World War II free-to-play game from Gaijin Entertainment and Dark Flow Software. So
You are enjoying the hell out of that right now.
yeah, I am.
That means
So,
they'll screw it up before launch.
Yeah, probably before launch. I mean, the open beta where they're selling a closed beta in.
Right.
Yeah, sure, whatever.
Hang tight, chat. Jason will be live about 30 seconds after we wrap up with post-show. We'll be back, of course, next week for another episode of Snowbound at 7 p.m. Eastern on Tuesday. Don't forget, we are back with the Relic Grind, our Final Fantasy Square Enix show Thursday at 7, and Gaming Gumbo Saturday at 7, with some special guests coming up on all those shows throughout the next month. Look forward to it. Until next time, Indy, where can everybody find you?
You guys can find me on Twitch, Twitter, Insta at Indie Garona. Oh, and YouTube. I'm going to start putting weekly vlogs up as well. So if you're interested in my so exciting life outside of streaming, check me out on YouTube as well.
They can check you out on Women of Warcraft, too, as well.
Yes, that's my stream team. And a lot of really amazing women who mostly play Warcraft. On all hours. You'll always find somebody streaming because we have people from all different time zones. So
very cool. Zista,
fellow women of Warcraft, check us out.
You can find me places.
There's Indy. Is that Indy's IO? Yes, it is.
Excuse me?
You've been outed. There's Zista's right above yours, and there's mine. Look at mine. I
got the prettiest background.
Mine is awful. I don't run Mythics at all. I ran the Mythics that Zista made me run, and that was it.
I got the prettiest transmog.
Yeah, you do. You do. I raid a lot. I don't run Mythics a lot.
Well, listen, I took 4 weeks. I took almost 4 weeks off of the game. I guarantee you.
I have multiple heroic Denathrius kills. There are probably some dungeons I don't have a Mythic +5 beat.
I do all mine at like 4 in the morning. Otherwise, I'd invite you guys.
Ellie! Zista's missing Keystone Master.
Oh, yeah. So am I. I was supposed to do that with Zista, but he's never done it yet.
I'll do it with you.
Thank you.
I do them at like 4 in the morning. That's when I do all of my Mythic pluses. I'm
Mike Byrne. You can follow my Low Raider iOS right there at Magic Man 1. But more importantly, follow at RC Raideo, RAIDEO, so we can tweet at you every time we go live with a stream or a podcast. It's been a lot of fun. Until next week, gang, stay safe. And of course, we'll see you out on the servers. Later.